record saying what?
That the Eagle Talon is one of the ugliest cars ever made. I grew up with someone that had one, and I remember just looking at it and being like, it's so ugly. Like, I get it, it's a 16 valve turbo, but it's just so...
Who's there? Connecting rod. That's good.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? How are you? I like it.
It's cool.
It's a rocket ship.
Yeah, R.
Yeah, they kind of did a good job on them. It's been a while since I've been in.
Oh yeah. It's a little cram. We got you.
Dude. So you're going racing next weekend, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Might sell the pickup later today. I don't know. I put it up for sale, and then I got so many offers, and then I sold the wheels off of it. So I have one dude still on my chain for $7,500.
They're cool. Like, it's cool keeping these cars, but it's even cooler getting rid of them to get another one.
Dollar, yeah. Because you step up every time.
I guess how many Volkswagens have you had by now?
Like, so many, dude. Like 25.
25?
25, yeah.
It's a pretty hardy number.
Yeah, multiple Mark 3s, multiple Mark 1s, multiple Mark 2s. This is the core collection in here. My first car.
These ones have been around for a while. I know the green one you had when I first met you 5-6 years ago, and you've had it way longer than that, right?
Yeah, green car. The red Mark II is my first car. I had that since I was 16.
This alone, we could do a whole video about, and we're gonna have to come back here and do. I mean, I was gonna ask you guys in the video, do you want to come back and see anything else? But you don't have a choice. We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to come back. I mean, the Beetle too. You've had this thing forever.
Yeah, I bought that totally stock. That was something I couldn't pass up. Dude,
and you've had it for how long?
7 or 8 years. Dude, 4,000 is a magic number. I paid 4,000 for this car too, totally stock. I paid 4,000 for this, 4,000 for this.
It's just, I mean, just the fact that this was your first car alone is such a cool, something you don't hear often. You don't get to hear people say that.
Yeah,
you had it when you were 16. How old are you now?
32. No, 34. I'll show you this in European car, how they sold it.
Kermit the Rabbit.
Is this the fastest green thing on the planet? Maybe. Felt like it when I was at the track last week. Yeah, it had a 1.8 in it, you know.
With a turbo?
Nothing. Just NA. Old racing seats in blue. The door cards are still in it. That's about the only thing from the inside that's still in it is the door cards.
Right.
I still have those. And the front lip and side skirts. But this car was brown, and they acid dipped the entire shell and painted it Porsche signal green. Yeah, this is just everything. Those are all the magazines that feature in when he applied to be an European car. This is what this guy filled out.
Oh wow.
Cost to build the car, $16,000. It's
I think you did
a little
all
bit
right.
of a steal.
Like, it's crazy just to see even this stuff of what it took to try and get your car into the magazine back then. But this is pre-internet, pre-big internet.
Old invoice from ABD, Autobahn Design.
96.
This was for the spare spoiler and stuff that was purchased. And yeah, just so many just different whatever, little receipts and stuff. Paint, by the way, look at this old Autobahn Design. This thing is incredible. They don't make shit like this anymore.
94. That's wild.
So this guy had this car from ABD. They were like they put their whole kit on it that they sold at the time. It was like the lip and the side skirts and the fender flares. And they kind of like paraded that car around the show circuit, you know?
Right.
It was like, this is our shit.
Back in the early 90s.
Yeah. And then this guy, Marcus, that owned the car, was building it. And they were like, look, you're going so deep into this car. Can it be like we're going to showcase our work on it, you know?
Right, like a joint venture.
So it was like this guy, Marcus, was funding this thing. Autobahn Design was building it. And that was... You know, these receipts are all from the early. It was featured in 93, so it was completely built before then. And then the receipts were just like maintaining it, anything after that.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
And this dude lived in San Francisco, and he had a store there. And then the original ad for this car was on Vortex. And it was somewhere around 2010-ish. And he just couldn't afford the rent anymore. And he said that the motor had blown up in the 90s. So I'm guessing by the receipts, probably like 96 or something, 97. When he was like applying to be in the magazine, it was like other cars that you own. It said Porsches. So like the guy said it, he was like, you know, this was my second car. It's like a fun rabbit. It wasn't like his main car. He had a Porsche, you know? So he didn't give a fuck about this thing. It like broke down and he just pushed it in the corner of the garage and it's sat for 15 years.
Back to when you bought it then.
It was in Jersey. That dude named Goosler, like 15 years ago. He was like the first one with the right-hand drive cabrio that I've ever seen. I just talked to him through Vortex. There's actually this famous picture. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's like valve covers, 8-valve valve covers in a frame. 2 frames with like 5 valve covers in each one. And that picture came from this guy's house. So he was like real deal. You know, he collected valve covers. He collected like cars, you know, Grail cars. And this was one of the cars that he got. So he shipped this car to New Jersey from San Francisco. He started to do an AVA swap in it because a motor was shot and just bailed on the project and posted it up on Vortex, and I saw it and I was like, oh, Porsche Green Mark 1 in New Jersey. I think he had it listed for like $6,000. And I like wind up being like, I don't even need the wheels off of it. You know, I'll show up, steering wheel. I don't need the seats. I don't need wheels. I need nothing. So I wind up getting the car like on jack stands, and I remember like bringing RMs to put on it to drive it home, like onto the trailer. And he didn't have it on multi-piece wheels. So when he saw on them, he was like, oh, you're kind of making me like regret selling it. I'm like, well, yeah, wheels make the car. You know, as soon as you put 9-inch wide, like 3-piece wheels or 2-piece wheels on a car, on a Mark 1.
Especially flared out like that.
Yeah, you're gonna look at it and go, oh, that car is beautiful. So I was like putting the wheels on in his garage, and he's like, oh, why am I selling this thing? I had a spare set of wheels. I'm getting a steal on this shell that's like, the paint alone cost fucking more than $4,000, you know?
And it's held up too. That paint looks like it's in incredible shape. I'm sure there's bound to be some flaws in it, but that's what, a 20-something-year-old paint job now?
Well over. It was painted in the late 80s. I think 89 the receipts are from. 32 years old, that green. It's like been in a garage ever since. And the things that I've painted, like the lip and the eyebrow, you know, painted them here. But no panels have been like painted, like the hood, the fenders.
I mean, I guess that's what you get when you acid dip the whole shell.
Yeah, acid dip, it was brown. From all the work that this guy like put into it, painting it, it still shines up.
So you had no idea about the history
I had no idea about it being named Kermit, Autobahn Design, the European car feature. And then when I got there, he was like, you know, I have this binder with the car. And I was like, oh, this is mind-blowing. So then I had to do all the back research on the car. I really don't post too much shit like on the internet. And I posted a picture of this on Reddit in the Mark 1 subreddit just to be like, no one posting this thing, let me keep it alive, you know. And people were like, is that Kermit? And I was like, holy shit. I was like, this thing, like, you know, people remember this car.
And just seeing like the cool stuff on the walls, I'm like, your sheer passion, how deep rooted you are into this.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see the kind of history just hidden. It makes you wonder what other kind of crap is out there, what other stories are out there.
Oh, dude, there's so many people. The dude starred the ABA in here. This transmission I had built on the side, pretty much the head and the bottom end was somewhat in the car, you know, however he had it set up with an 020 in it.
So this is the same motor that came in it?
Yeah, like he started this, he got this car and he put an ABA in it. And his plans were to do like a new speed supercharger or whatever. And when I bought the car, you know, it didn't have any of that shit on there. It wasn't running, none of the wiring was finished. It was probably about like 2 years before I even fired it after I bought it, you know? We dropped the motor, did a whole new trans, added the supercharger, which was in my Mark III at the time. It's seen track time, and it's held up, giving me no issues the last 5 track days. You know, the first time I went, I actually took the pickup so I could get my license to race, you know? And like, they want you to go with an instructor and all that, and it's like...
How long ago was that?
That was the beginning of the year. I thought I was going to be racing last year, and just so many loose ends, dude, with tying a car together.
Forget the car, just the licensing and stuff. People don't realize what's involved. You know, the tech inspection.
Yeah, tech inspection is a whole nother deal. Everything. So it's like, when I bought this car, I was in that phase. Like, I was racing shifter karts at the time. It was something I just got into with my brother, and I was like, we were racing shifter karts, and I was like, I'm sick of this show car bullshit. I want to build a race rabbit, you know? So that's when I was like looking for Mark 1s, and that's subsequently how I came across this. So I was like doing the shifter car racing. I still have one tucked away in there. It's very hard on your body, you know? But not fun, dude.
I've done the Vortex karts.
Yeah, sick.
So same chassis, more or less. You will not find a workout like that anywhere.
Not fun. I hurt my ribs, dude. It was so expensive to just realize that I have a job, you know? I can't be breaking my ribs.
You know, sometimes a roof over our head is more important than a podium.
Was looking for a Mark 1, wanted to get into racing. This was the perfect chassis to start off with, you know? So this year, everything came down to this year. I finally got on the track.
Do you know how much power it makes? Have you dynoed it?
I would say, because I'm being super modest, that I would be happy if it made 150 horsepower to the wheels, but I'd say that's maybe around there with the supercharger. It's just an 8-valve, you know. This car is geared very well. It's like a 9A transmission, but it's very tightly geared.
And did you change anything inside of it?
Yeah, it has the input and output shafts are cryo frozen, and all the gears are cryo frozen, and then there's a Pelican in there. It only goes 100 miles an hour. Like, really, like 110 max, dude. Like, I'm pushing this thing to the limit, but getting up to speed, it's really fun. So it's perfect for English town, short turns. But it's like, when you're in a tightly geared Mark 1, you really are having a blast, you know?
Yeah.
I'm bouncing all over the place. Slamming through the fucking gears. It's low power, but it's tight.
What's your least favorite part about it then?
The harness right now. I want to take the entire engine harness out. I have a standalone in 034 EFI up there in a box, all plug and play, ready to go. Last race is December 9th, and then I'm going to pull this harness out and do standalone for next year. Initial plan was get the supercharger in it on the stock motor, then flip it to the standalone harness on the stock motor, and then I have a built ABA in the corner. So once I had the standalone running on this setup, then I was going to put the new motor in.
It's good that you're not trying to take on too much.
Yeah,
and take it all apart and then end up missing races.
I want to keep it running. Not, like, it always has to run, you know? Like, it ran 5 days ago, it will run again in 5 days, so. This is an ABA supercharger that Vortex made. Vortex made them, and it was a huge flop because I think they wanted like $4,900 for the kit.
No.
In the night, yeah.
It's for crazy. 150 horsepower. Maybe a healthy 175. Because think about it, you spend what, $5,000 on this kit. Your transmission is going to window itself by the end of the week. A valves are stout, so let's say you don't have to do anything with that. But just the transmission alone, I mean, you went crazy with this one. Yeah, you can spend $1,000 on just a diff.
I got this off Vortex. A lot of, I try and keep Vortex alive. Vortex is dying and it has to be kept alive, so I try and use it a lot, and I'm always searching. I sometimes will even still post it. It's like, even though I know it's just dead,
You know what what killed it for me and a lot of other people is the fact that you can't get into your account and the admins can't do anything to reset your passwords for you. I keep meaning to start a new one because I do see that it is still active enough to still be worth posting on there.
You want the post history though, It's like who you are. I wish some of the picture links still worked because there's fucking gold on Vortex,
That's why I started this channel too, because the pictures are dead. The write-ups aren't as useful anymore.
Yeah. I have many Vortex handles. My first one was Dubbin' and Lovin'. That would be where my Instagram handle, Lovin' and Dubbin', comes from. And Dubbin' and Lovin' got banned because I found out a way, like, you couldn't curse on Vortex. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It would, like, bleep it out.
Yep.
There was this little code that you could put in the beginning and the end of a curse word, and it would allow the word to be posted.
Oh my
so
God.
You could type, like, how do I fix this fucking thing? And if you put that code in the beginning and end, it would show up. And then people would quote you, and in the quote it would be blurred out again because they didn't have the code in it when they quoted you, and they'd be like, how did you do that? So I got away with doing this for like 6 fucking months, like tossing like words out there like shit, like once in a while. And then I got banned for doing that. I got banned for like figuring out how to use curse words on Vortex. So then I made Lovin' and Dubbin', which was my name in reverse. My first account was old. I had a shitload of post history. I've answered questions, asked a lot of questions. Like, I had like a build thread at the time with like 1 million views, so it was like I felt like someone on Vortex, Every forum, answering questions, looking shit up in my Bentley for people, like I loved Vortex. It was pre-MySpace, it was pre any of that shit.
Everything.
So then when they banned me, I was like, what? So I made Lovin' and Dubbin', which was like a shitty version of myself the first time, and so Lovin' and Dubbin'.
all your original stuff that like off the main account is still on there. You just can't touch it.
It dates back probably to like 2004. I loved Vortex, man. I used to post so much. There's always something to do on there. And that's even how I got into tattooing, dude. There's an art and lifestyle, like sub form. There was a tattoo thing, and it was so weird, dude. Like,
was there no tattoo forum? Period.
Not really at the time. There was like weird body mod shit on the internet. But like, if you wanted to see what people were actually getting tattooed that were like you, it was like going on Vortex, and you go on the tattoo thread. You'd see like what Matt Murray's getting tattooed on his arm, and it's a Volkswagen thing, and you're like, dude, I want a tattoo like that, Vortex, like, whatever, changed my life.
That's heard it from Mark. Let's try to keep Vortex alive, even if it makes his day that much better. I feel like we owe it to him for all the hard work he's put in back in the day.
And this supercharger for being posted in the fucking classifieds.
So when did you get that?
Probably a few years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. I paid a dime for it. I think I paid like $1,800 for it. But it was like a grail item, I believe there's less than 20 kits that they ever produced even. And I've contacted Vortex to like talk to like VF Engineering, like, hey, I got this old supercharger kit, like, and they're like, we don't even have that serial number in our database,
unfortunately, we've got some oil leaks. And to top it all off, the track is being a bunch of pansies and not letting me stand in better spots on the track. So, sorry we're not getting as much trackside, up close and personal footage as I was hoping. But you could thank Raceway Park for that one. The people organizing the event said they would love to have me out there, but it's not their call. So, to add insult to injury, she goes, "Oh, you can always apply for any drift nights or any other events, but this one is not an option." So that's sick. Shout out to Raceway Park. Still been a pretty solid day so far, despite the few issues that they're ironing out. Mark was trying to even throw a second seat in here so we could get some ride-alongs, but unfortunately they were up until 4:30 in the morning dropping the trans again after we put it in Friday night. So had an intake leak. It's probably still leaking a little bit, but it's pretty bad before. But overall, it's running better than it ever has, Mark says. I think the car's got low oil pressure, so
Next,
I'm gonna play it safe and wrap it up for today. We're having the car apart, back together, back apart, back together again. So I think we'll definitely come back. It says we've got another track day in 8 weeks. By the time this video's out, probably be down to 4 weeks, 6 weeks. So I think the move to make is come out here and just do a vlog style dedicated track day. I think we'll be able to get the passenger seat in, so despite not being able to get trackside, we'll at least get some in-car footage, some ride-along footage and stuff. But hope you guys enjoyed it. This car is too cool.
It was fun. The car worked great. Felt great. Last night was crazy. That's a long night.
I'd say so.
So I'm surprised that it's even here. Because when we stripped that one bolt on the pressure plate, I thought that there's no fucking way we were gonna come here. And then we took that 16 valve one. And we reused the same stretch bolts on the pressure plate and on the flywheel. And just Loctited them and sent it.
Long night.
Yeah.
You guys made it happen.
Long night. Oil pressure. It's that pump's
Yeah, I mean, you
definitely
changed
shot.
a lot on the motor too, though. So at the least, you got a bunch of shakedown runs in. So
Yeah, yeah. No, they're fun.
All right.
And it's hard to make it like no.